You guys want to go see a dead body?
Yeah, all these guys were cast so perfectly. Like reading the book, there's no problem at all picturing these guys as the characters.
Even when they entered the junkyard, like Chris and Gordy are like racing, they're having some kind of like heart-to-heart stuff.
That city was weird as shit.
Come on, you guys, let's get moving.
Yeah, by the time we get there, the kid won't even be dead anymore.
Welcome back to Ink and Frame, the show where we explore the movies that you love and the books that inspired them. Today's episode takes us down a nostalgic road with Stand By Me, directed by Rob Reiner, R.I.P. The film's inspired by Stephen King's novella The Body, from his collection Different Seasons, which also features Apt Pupil and Shawshank Redemption, which are two pretty good stories as well. So grab your friends, follow us down the tracks as we talk Stand By Me. Justin, what's your history with Stand By Me?
Stand By Me goes back a long time. I think it's along the same lines as like Cujo, where it's before I can even remembering. So there's like the bits from like the train bridge and stuff that's just kind of like burned into my brain. But I think the first conscious time was probably around the time I was like 15, and I was like, damn, it's like sick. They made a documentary, dude.
A documentary of your life, you're saying?
Yeah, you know, more or less.
Yeah, I feel a lot of this. I feel a connection to a lot of this stuff, like especially like the boys in the creek and that kind of stuff. I definitely have a lot of memories of being with my pals, you know, splashing around in the creek and stuff like that.
We got our own train bridge in town.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
What about you, Nick?
Did you actually play in a creek? Wait, did you guys actually creek swim?
Oh yeah,
I did for sure.
I still do.
Really?
Yeah, on the bike trails.
Yeah, we used to. There was a creek in our neighborhood. It's actually the neighborhood Justin lives in right now, where we would go and like fish and just hang out and swim in the creek, and you know, there was actually a time that I was swimming in the creek, and I go to get out, and I look down at my foot, and there was a leech on my foot. Whoa. And I remember the scene from this movie, so I start freaking out. I'm like, this is serious business, you know? So I like start flailing around, and my buddy like hands me his shirt or something because we were swimming, and I start like hitting my foot with it, and the leech comes off. Luckily, I don't think it had, you know, attached yet. But yeah, definitely this movie flashed before my eyes when that happened. I was pretty young when I first saw this, probably too young for the seriousness of the subject matter. Like I kind of thought this was a staple in everyone's life. I thought this was a movie that everybody watched. And then I talked to you, Nick, and I don't think this was one you really got into growing up.
No, I remember you talking about it a lot or enough growing up. And I had it marked on my letterbox that I had seen it. And so I must have, because I don't typically, like, I'm pretty firm about what goes on there. I want to make sure I have an actual memory of it. So there must be something somewhere in there. So I rewatched it for the first time in half ever and half, I guess, a couple decades. Funnily enough, sidetracking, Chris has also, I think, had a leech on him. I think one time. Yeah, we'd have to ask him. I don't remember the whole story. I couldn't even tell you where we were at for it to happen. I feel like maybe we were with like Sabra. You remember her?
Yep,
your mom?
I do.
But I could be way wrong. We'd have to pull him on here and ask him. No, so this was my second/third viewing. I rewatched it again today after I finished the audiobook. And I do like it. There's a even though I don't have my own like 1959, you know, creek swimming, train dodging life. But it's easy to connect to, like, you know, when you're out with the boys, like doing the thing. So I liked it. It was good. But yeah, this was one you talked a lot about. This is one of a few movies you sent our way that turned out to be pretty dope. So no, excited to get through the audiobook, excited to get through the movie. A good time.
Yeah, you mentioned Letterboxd. This is actually on my top 4 Letterboxd. And I don't know if the movie is that good or if I just really feel so much nostalgia from seeing it my whole life. I've seen it 100 times, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot with all the characters top to bottom where you can kind of plug and play an archetype.
Yeah.
Did you guys, I was talking to Shelby about this. So they're like 12, 13 in the movie. that was probably the age that I started cussing out loud amongst my friends anyways, but they were like real thick on it. I mean, they were, you know what I mean? Like
I remember
mine wasn't that deep.
I remember watching the movie and being like, "Oh shit, they're letting these kids cuss? Like they're smoking cigarettes and these kids are cussing? What is going on?"
Right.
Yeah. I think I was cussing around my friends before that. Like not around my parents for sure. I don't think I did that until I was an adult, but yeah, definitely around the boys we were cussing and stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Now the smoking cigarettes I wasn't doing. I've never really smoked cigarettes, but I have had some older kids in the neighborhood like offer me some cigarettes, like ironically enough at the creek.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, "Oh man, these guys are going to get in trouble," you know?
Do you guys like the name change from The Body to Stand By Me?
Yeah, I was going to bring this up. I think the name Stand By Me is better. It's
Okay.
not as literal, but I think it really is a good representation of the story.
Yeah, instead
the
of
song.
pointing
I've
at the
had-
story, it's like about the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the song on most of these songs. I was looking up at the soundtrack. Most of these songs have been on my Spotify for a long time. I really dig that era. And Buddy Holly is one of my favorite artists of all time. I got a tattoo about it.
Uh-huh.
So when they played a little bit of that as we approached the trestle scene, I was like, that's my shit.
Nice.
Yeah, this is maybe one of my favorite eras of music. Like I don't really have a lot of it like on my playlists and stuff, but whenever I hear something, it's like, oh yeah, this feels good. Specifically, this song I do have come up in my playlist all the time, and I always let it play. I never skip it. Like this is one of my favorite movies, and it was based off a book by one of my favorite writers, named after one of my favorite songs. Like it's just a 3 for 3, like perfect for me.
Nice.
I think there was other movies doing that at the time though. Like you have Lean on Me. I think there's some other examples of movies that use one of the songs in the movie as the title. So this wasn't unique in that. I don't think it was the first one to do it. Did you not like?
It's probably the best example. I think it's probably like when you say, if you were to ask somebody, what's a movie based off of a song in the title, I think Stand By Me probably ranks pretty high.
Stand By Me and Lean on Me are the two that I think of.
Have you seen Lean on Me?
I have.
I haven't. I have to look it up.
And I was like, how have I not seen this? It's a great song, obviously.
Oh, you haven't seen it either?
Mm-mm.
That's another movie I just thought everyone saw growing up.
Well, now I got to look it up. Lean on Me.
It's Morgan Freeman. He takes over as like the principal of a rowdy school, and he tries to whip him into shape, basically. And then his methods are a little unconventional, so he gets in some trouble at the end, and then the school rallies together to like stand behind him, and
gotcha.
They all lean on each other, I guess.
Wow. Made shortly after this movie, by the way. Lean on Me, 89.
Yeah.
This movie, 86.
Close.
Rob Reiner started a trend there.
Yeah. What's your history with Stephen King, Nick? Do you read a lot of Stephen King? Have you read any Stephen King besides this?
Yeah, I read it. I read the actual book before or as the 2017 movie was coming out. It was a long one. It took me like probably a month to get through it. It's pretty dense or whatever, 1,100 pages.
Yeah.
I've read the first 2 Dark Tower books, I think right around the same time. That was awesome. So I need to get back to those. Although from what I hear, they get weirder as that series goes on. I started Eyes of the Dragon real young. My mom gave it to me, and I don't even know why. Like I was probably 9 or 10, and I remember getting a couple chapters deep, being like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So I've not revisited that.
That one's pretty good. I actually was thinking of suggesting that one to you because I know you like Lord of the Rings and stuff. It's more of a fantasy. I don't know if you're into more fantasy or if you're strictly a Lord of the Rings guy, but I think that's one of his only real fantasy books. You may count Fairy Tale, but I didn't really like Fairy Tale that much. Yeah.
I've got some stuff from his sons too. I know he did a book called Sleeping Beauties with one of his kids named Owen King.
Okay.
which I started and got like halfway through, put it down. I've got some stuff by his son, Joe Hill, who's famous for like the Lock and Key graphic novels. I think I've got his book, Fireman. I know he's got a book called Nosferatu that I also think has a show with Zachary Quinto.
It does.
So I've got some stuff sprinkled in from that whole family.
Fireman and Nosferatu were okay. I'm more of a Horns and Heart-Shaped Box fan. Heart-Shaped Box is my favorite Joe Hill, and it's shorter too. It's a quicker read. I actually talked to Chris. I think Chris, after like the next episode, I think it's going to be Derek, and then the one after that, Chris was talking about maybe doing Horns, which is really good.
Nice.
Daniel Radcliff. It's an interesting.
I didn't know that was a Joe Hill book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that movie, I don't know, 10 years ago or so.
The movie's pretty good. The book is
I liked it.
really good. Justin, did you do the audiobook for Horns?
I did. It's been some years. I know it was good, but obviously I've seen the movie more recently.
I think I've done the audiobook
more.
at least twice. I might have done it 3 times. I can't remember. Justin and I have both been through a lot of King. I've done Pet Sematary, It, The Shining, Mr. Mercedes, Dr. Sleep, Cujo,
Salem's Lot.
I've started Salem's
man.
Billy Summers.
Billy Summers. That was kind of a fun one.
I started Salem's Lot twice. I still haven't been able to get through it. I keep meaning to go back.
That's a tough one, man.
Christine. I love Christine.
The Mist. I audiobooked The Mist last 2 years ago. It was awesome. I love the movie.
I have it downloaded right now. I haven't listened to it yet, though. I was waiting until I was waiting until I could unload the body before I started another one.
Yeah.
It's narrated by Will Patton, who is an actor. Punisher, Remember the Titans, the newest Halloween movies.
Nice.
So it was cool. Like, good actor, good voice.
I think the guy that plays Dexter does Pet Sematary.
He was great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you planning on listening to the other books in this collection? Like Shawshank and Apt Pupil and The Breathing Method?
One of those, maybe. The other two, I could give a shit less about. I know Apt Pupil is a movie. I think it was one of Bryan Singer's first movies. The guy who's famous for like the X-Men franchise. Also, I think has some like Me Too allegations against him. But he started the X-Men franchise. He did Superman Returns. He's the credited director of Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie.
Okay.
Although I think due to like what was going on, I think he like got fired, left production. It was taken over by somebody else. So that would be cool. Plus, Shawshank is mentioned in enough of his shit, including the body.
Yeah.
It's mentioned in the Welcome to Derry show that we just watched that just came out. All the threads in the Stephen King universe,
right.
All the Easter eggs. So yeah, Shawshank would be cool. And the movie's classic.
Yeah.
I think it might be the #1 movie on IMDb.
I would say maybe give Apt Pupil a try. I didn't really like The Breathing Method, but I remember enjoying Apt Pupil enough.
Strange. Where did that land at?
I don't even really remember it that well. I remember it's about some lady giving birth.
But she slips on the ice?
Yeah, something happens. It's weird. I didn't really like it that much.
I wanted to ask, I was going to look this up and I didn't. Maybe you guys know. So this is the story. The book is called Different Seasons, and it's 4 different books. Do you think Stephen King does he write these novellas and then decide like these 4 should be grouped up into a book together? Or does he go in with the intention of writing this thing that breaks down into 4 stories? Because doesn't he have some other stuff called I think it's like Skeleton Key or something, Skeleton Crew or something?
Skeleton Crew, Night Watch, isn't that a thing? Or
do you think he writes it like that intentionally, or is his editor like, you know what we should do?
I don't think so.
I would wager to say that he has so many stories that he could potentially play around with the format whenever he does stuff like this.
I think I knew the answer to this at one time. I think he writes them and then just to get them published, maybe puts them together. I'm not 100% sure on that. I do need to look into that. But I don't think they were written as a collection together. They don't really have that much to do with each other. I know the body mentions Shawshank, but it just mentions it offhand.
Stephen King liked this movie, though, if I remember right.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite adaptation of one of his books. And I kind of Googled to see, because this came out a long time ago, like if there was another one that surpassed it. I know he liked Dr. Sleep, but
It's a good movie.
as far as, at least Google AI said that this is still one of his favorites. It's really close. It's really close to the book. Like the book and the movie only have like a few differences. Like obviously there's like different dialogue and stuff, but out of all the King books that I've read and then watched the movie, this is the closest.
And I feel like it was redacted well with purpose also. It just kind of made it a better movie at times when things were changed. Obviously, there were some changes that I don't think were good, but we'll get into that.
I think the stuff that they took out was okay, and I think the stuff that they added was really good. So, I mean, we can get into that here pretty soon. This takes place in Castle Rock, which is a very common, like, Stephen King fake town in Maine, which for some reason they changed it to Oregon.
Yeah, that threw me off.
I read because it's where they filmed it. They filmed it in Oregon, and Rob Reiner thought it'd be like a good backdrop for the story or whatever. But you could film it in Oregon and pretend it's Maine. I don't know why.
Yeah, right.
Nothing about it was like, oh, that's Oregon for sure.
Yeah. Maybe the trail. They're back there. They were like, people will know.
Yeah, I'm sure some people from Oregon would be like, no, that ain't Maine.
Yeah, right. I did wonder. It felt like if it wasn't intentional, then it's a massive oversight by the writing crew.
Yeah. They're like, where does this take place? Fuck it. Oregon. Who cares?
Yeah, fuck it. Literally the opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
They mentioned Portland once. Got to be Oregon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. As far
That's the
away from
connection.
the actual setting as possible. Let's do that.
Yeah, this takes place at the same town as like the Dead Zone, Needful Things, Cujo, which is mentioned in the body.
Yeah, I caught that too, which I thought was cool. I was going to ask you guys about because I didn't look them all up, about some of the other, tie-ins or Easter eggs or whatever you want to call them, the threads.
Yeah, the only ones that I found were like the mention of Cujo, and then Constable Bannerman makes an appearance in a lot of King books. Like, let me see, I got it here. He's in Cujo, he's in the body, or he's mentioned in the body. He's mentioned in Needful Things. He's mentioned in The Dark Half. Elevation, Gwendy's Button Box, which I've never heard of. I don't even think that's a real thing. I think they lied to me.
Somebody's pranking you, dog.
I think his main story was the Dead Zone, which I actually wasn't that big of a fan of the Dead Zone, but I know people do like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the mentions of Shawshank. Those are the real. They mentioned Derry, I guess. I guess we can dive into Oh, go ahead.
This movie. No, I mean, I'm doing what you're doing. So this movie, the movie takes place, or I'm sorry, the book takes place in. Is it 59?
Yes.
And then does the movie also take place in 59 or is it 60?
Yeah, I think it's Memorial Day 59.
It's got to be Labor Day.
Or Labor Day. Right.
Yeah. So they're just getting ready to start school, Labor Day weekend.
Right.
I don't remember what I was going to ask for. Before we dive into it, the cast, these kids, these 4 kids who carry way more weight now, with their names than they did at the time, did fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
And with the exception of obviously River Phoenix, who passed away at 23,
right.
Died on Halloween in 1993, by the way.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Isn't it? Halloween of all times. Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. And then, Kiefer Sutherland, right, obviously. Fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
By the way. Like, it's insane. And I know Corey Feldman had a hot streak there through the 80s.
Right.
Like, this would have been right before Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland. I think this was right around when he did Friday the 13th, Part 4.
When was Goonies?
85, I think.
Okay.
So he's fresh off of Goonies too.
Just hitters, man.
Yeah, for real. Like what a record for him right there.
Yeah, all these guys were cast so perfectly. Like reading the book, there's no problem at all picturing these guys as the characters. Mm-hmm. Ace, I thought Ace was a great casting. Kiefer Sutherland just fucking crushed it. Even Denny, John Cusack, small part, but still good.
Cool to see him.
Yeah.
Solid older
cool to see
brother.
him.
Yeah.
Why
Also
is
big in
Kiefer
the-
Sutherland? Why is he so perfectly a villain? He crushed it as a villain as a teenager,
Yeah.
or whatever
Dude.
that age frame was for him.
Same with Lost Boys. Like
Yeah.
the Vampire David. Yeah. Like continues to smash.
Yeah. So good.
But yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to get
No,
us
that's
sidetracked there.
totally fine.
Take us into this, man.
Actually, before we get into the timeline here, I just wanted to ask everyone if you're enjoying what we're doing, to go ahead and follow us and like and share and do all that stuff. We're on Amazon Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. So
That's right.
like what we're doing, follow us, share us, let people know about us. And let's dive into the story here. We start out in the treehouse, correct? All the kids hanging out, playing cards, smoking cigarettes, cracking wise. Dude,
Usual treehouse shenanigans.
yeah, dude, that treehouse was sick. I would love to be a kid hanging out there.
Solid
They got
spot.
all the detective comics, and dude, looked like a fun place to be.
Don't they have like nudie mags and shit too in the
Yeah,
book?
definitely.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
hide them away when someone's dad tries to come play buddy or play pal with them or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, then we get Vern. Vern shows up. He's all excited. He ran all the way there. He's got something to share with them.
He ran all the way home.
Yeah, exactly.
We're introduced to a lot of their interesting slang or whatever, dialogue choice kind of right off the bat with all the names they call each other and stuff.
Yeah, that's so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Wet end.
It's
And,
not wet end, piss up a rope. Like some of it is directly ripped from the book.
yeah, it's so good.
It's very, very quickly you have to like catch on to all the like unique shit that they're saying.
Do you know if that's like accurate to the times? To like, is that the way people talk back then?
I feel like it would have to be. King's close enough.
I agree, and because it's King, I also feel like you don't really know.
Right.
He's always got a super unique way of making sure his like characters and stuff stand out, and I think that's part of it. So I also had that same question.
Yeah.
My dad would have been 2 in 1959, and I don't know that he'll remember.
Yeah, very unique dialogue between the boys. These guys really had a fucked up home life.
Yeah, I mean all of them too.
Yeah. The only one who like kind of didn't really have it that bad was Vern. But even Vern's brother
his
was like
brother
a
was a
dick to him.
dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, all their older brothers are shitheads, and I was gonna talk about this. Like, it sucks to be all 4 of those kids.
Yeah.
Every single one of their older brothers is part of the crew, almost, I think, except for Teddy, has an older brother who is a fucking asshole. And he's not just an asshole in general, he's an asshole to his own family, his sibling.
Yeah.
Well, no,
And I think that's crazy.
Gordy's brother was nice. Gordy's brother was cool,
Oh, right, but he's dead.
but he's dead.
That was
yeah,
kind of
I kind of wondered, and I'm kind of jumping ahead. Do you think, has Gordy and them been having trouble with Ace and the other older brothers for a while? Like, do you think Denny knew? Would Denny have like stopped it? Like, would Denny stand up to Ace and those kind of guys, you think? But he's older than them, right?
I think
Because Denny dies at 22
yeah,
in college.
I think he would have definitely defended Gordy from Denny and his gang, because I think from Ace and his gang, because Denny had his own group of friends. Like they explain it in the book, and I think they touch on it in the movie, where he would bring Gordy around to his friends and, mention, you watch out for my little brother, he'll beat you up, or, he's tough. Gordy's tough. So I think he would have defended him. They really didn't seem to have that like tight of a relationship because of their age gap. Like
You don't think Denny and Gordy did?
No, they didn't really show it that much in the movie, but it seemed like in the book he loved Denny and Denny loved him, but they were too far apart to really have that kind of connection,
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
But when Denny's the favorite kid, he doesn't need Gordy around.
right. Well, he said he says in the movie he didn't even cry at Denny's funeral. He says in the book that he cried more when I think it was like a baseball player or something. Or no, it was some actor on some TV show died, and he cried more when he died than when Denny died because he saw him about the same amount. But Denny didn't even get reruns. That was the line, something like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then you got Teddy. His dad had PTSD from storming the beaches of Normandy. Burned his ear on the stove. I think both ears, right?
Both ears in the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one ear in the movie. Because he got a hearing aid in the book, too.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that he didn't have the hearing aid in the movie. I think he still has the prosthetic ear from when they were filming.
From filming?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so Vern shows up with the best news that he overheard his brother, whatever his brother's name is, talk.
Billy?
I know, I had it all there.
Yeah,
and I
Billy
fucking forget.
Tessio.
Yeah, Billy. Right.
Talking to Charlie Hogan under the porch looking for his pennies, which I think is hilarious, by the way, that he lost a jar of pennies under his porch and he's still almost a year later trying to dig it up. I wonder what happened to them. But he overhears them talking about how they stumbled upon Ray Brower's dead body.
Right.
Who's a boy that their age that died from another town, but is pretty local news. Got hit by a fucking train, apparently, which I feel like that's really hard to do.
I wondered about that too. Like, you really got to not be paying attention to get hit by a train.
No shit. Like
maybe if you were,
hear it, you can feel it. Like,
maybe if you're
now.
like drunk stumbling around and then you don't notice it coming, I could see that maybe. But just like being a kid and hanging out, how do you not see it coming?
I had questions about that, but so Vern overhears him under the porch, takes that news back to the boys, and he pitches it to the group. Hey guys, you want to go find this, see this dead body? It's kind of almost like the tagline of the movie. Like, hey guys, want to go see a dead body?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, he runs and like he's banging on the trap door trying to get in. I heard that the kids themselves decided to incorporate the like, what's the secret knock? To make Vern seem more like a heel kind of.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
He felt like a Chunk character. Like, if we're gonna talk about the Goonies,
Yeah, a
felt
little
like
bit.
the Chunk of the group.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they didn't really rag on him as hard as they gave it to Chunk.
Sure. Yeah. No, just like
Yeah.
the outsider treatment or whatever, like
Little
gotta
pudgier.
work the hardest to be a part of the crew.
Right.
Corey Feldman felt more or less like another embodiment of Mouth
Yeah, that's
in
true.
some ways.
That's true. Pretty similar characters. I heard him say something like that was like the most true to his real life. Like playing Teddy was the most like his real life at the time.
Damn.
Well, if you've sidetracking, if you've know anything about Corey Feldman now, he's very open about like Hollywood's, pedophilia ring and some of the things that happened to him and his buddy Corey Haim. And it's pretty sad. And like, you don't want to believe it's true, right? But knowing like the Me Too cases and everything that came out and some of that stuff, like it's hard not to give it a little bit of credit.
Yeah, you think?
So if this was Corey Feldman's, like, if this was true to that any sort of way, in that form, woof, man.
Yeah. So Vern comes up. He's talking about his pennies. You guys want to go see a dead body. They're all jazzed about it. Would you guys be jazzed when you were a kid to go see a dead body?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go 20 to 25 miles to do it, but it would certainly like pique my interest probably.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation. With my parents, I probably couldn't get away with it, but
That's another thing.
if
too,
I
yeah.
told them honestly, I might be able to do it.
Well, I don't think I would have been able to get away with it. I had like less oversight than a lot of kids have now. Like I was able to run rampant during the day, but I'd have to be back at night. There's no way I could be gone for 2 full days without my parents calling the
Same.
cops.
Definitely.
Same. And getting hided when I got home for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Absolutely.
I think this was really good at showing like how kids would really react to like, do you want to go see a dead body? I feel like they would be really jazzed in the moment, but then as soon as you get there, they kind of feel uneasy about it,
Mm.
Like Vern even talks
Yeah,
about, I don't know, guys. I think it might give me nightmares. I still want to go, but
Yeah, they kind of get like less and less excited as that reality sets in of like we're really close to this dead body now.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all stage a sleepover kind of in like a common place now where like you tell your mom you're staying here and I'll tell my mom I'm staying here and we'll go do this thing that's not at either of those places.
Right.
We get Chris Chambers, the sort of de facto leader of the group, who is Gordy's kind of best friend. Shows up packing. I'm not a gun guy, so this as a kid I wouldn't have even if somebody in the group had a gun, that's not me at all.
Right.
So I would be like, just I don't want to swing it around. I don't want to shoot it. Keep it away from me. Not my jam.
Yeah. Hawked it out of his old man's dresser.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would have been excited to see the gun either.
No.
Like I heard enough about,
I'd definitely be like, put that shit away until you need it. If
yeah,
you
like,
bring it.
Right.
yeah, dude, don't bring that. Why are you bringing that? That was
Also, did it not have a safety on it? I'm not a gun guy. When you would think like, even if I would trust I would try to trust if somebody in the group brought a gun, I would hope that they looked at the safety first.
You would
And
hope so.
we don't get a
but
mention of it.
I mean, Chambers didn't even wreck the slide whenever he picked it up. So
yeah, I don't think people were as concerned with that stuff back then. He's like, it's not loaded. My old man never leaves it loaded, but his old man's an alcoholic. So like,
and plus they had like shooting in school and stuff, not like today, but they had shooting classes,
like shooting on purpose in schools.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Well, they still do shooting in schools. Like my brother did, what do you call it?
Trap
shooting. Yeah.
But that was like an after school program, right?
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't during school, I don't think. Yeah. So they show up and Chris wants to show him like, come back here in the alleyway. Let me show you something. And Gordy's all excited and he's holding it and pointing it and you sure it's not loaded, right? And then bang, shoots the trash can. That's pretty funny. They all start cracking up or Chris starts cracking up and they start running. The old lady comes out and who's shooting off cherry bombs back here?
Is a cherry bomb just another type of firecracker? I've only ever heard that word in one other movie, which was from the late 80s and Friday the 13th, or I'm sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Somebody said something about cherry bombs. So it must have been like a really like common.
Yeah, I feel like it was a theme of the time. Maybe it was like their little Dynamites or M80s or.
I think it was a really strong like firecracker back then. I don't know if they
she didn't see the bullet hole.
Well, she might have after they left.
I guess it wouldn't be like smoking or anything like that, but
no.
Yeah, so Gordy does an old desk pop, pops the trash can. So they fucking take off, and this is where we run into a few of the group of assholes. We meet Kiefer Sutherland's Ace Merrill hanging out with Eyeball, right?
Eyeball Chambers.
Eyeball Chambers, which is Chris's older brother.
Yeah, I think so. And he takes Gordy's Yankee cap, which
is that in the book
as
well?
I don't think.
Okay, all right. When I was listening, I was like, wait, what? I don't hear a fucking ball cap in there.
Yeah, no, I don't think that happens.
Also, they're Yankees fans out in Oregon, which isn't like you can be a fan of whoever you want, but it would have made way more sense in the main setting rather than Oregon across the whole United States.
I think maybe the Yankees are just universal enough to where there's people that like them all over.
That's what got me. Because I remember there was a giant Yankees era.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like I think they got like 27 World Series wins or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the hat thing would piss me off. It sucks that he never gets that back.
He didn't? I meant to pay attention to that, and I completely forgot the last viewing.
He does, I mean, as far as I know, he gives it to Ted Eyeball, and then Chris calls him an asshole, and then that's at least in the movie, at least calls him an asshole, and that's when Ace takes him down, and he's like, "Take it back. I'm gonna burn your fucking ass with this cigarette."
Right. Yeah, you get a lot more of Ace in the movie than you do in the book, and that's one of the changes that I really liked. I thought seeing Ace more was interesting. I don't know. I think it added a lot more depth to the story.
Yeah.
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 Seeing the kids take the L, right? That first L they take against Ace and Ace and Eyeball. You always want to like jump in and like fucking help them out.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the things about the movie and the book is like, man, these kids just take L after L out there, and it's kind of a downer. The whole book is like just really down. These kids are just getting shit on.
Yeah.
Pre-movie and post-movie, you know, considering how the book ends, at least.
Their whole life is kind of a tragedy.
Yeah. It's like a Stephen King device. And so that always makes it like really tough to kind of like enjoy. And especially now as a parent, you're like, Jesus Christ, I hope my kid doesn't ever have to be around people like that, man. Like, ugh.
Yeah, their parents are shitty to them. The people around town are shitty to them. The bullies are shitty to them. They're kind of shitty to each other. Like obviously they're pals, but they fucking rag on each other the whole time.
They rag on each other in ways that like me, I don't know how your guys' is like super inner clique goes. And it, like, you know, common roasting is, you know, okay, but like these guys like they call each other some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I at least try to like walk a line with my friends because I'm not always as good at like getting it as I am giving it, you know. So
right.
I know I've got that keen in my mind. Gordy, I was gonna ask you guys this. Gordy's dad is very like, why the fuck do you gotta have friends like that? Why can't you have friends like Denny's friends?
Right.
Did your guys' parents ever not like any friends that you guys had growing up?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But it wasn't like they weren't like hard on me about it. They were just like, "Hey, man, you get in trouble here. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were actually the only one of my friends that most of my parents actually liked.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Because for those who don't know, me and Justin have been friends since we were 12 years old. Like right at the same age these kids are, that's when me and Justin started hanging out.
It's true.
So
way to stand by him.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been standing by each other for over 20 years now.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, good deal.
Yeah. So they run in with the bullies, and then they all meet up, and it's time to head down the train tracks and find a dead body.
And they're going like 20 plus miles apparently, which is way more than I'd feel comfortable walking.
That's a long walk.
And I might be jumping ahead as well, but it turns out to be more than they thought because they're measuring as the crow flies. They're not measuring for the terrain.
Yeah.
Right. They're measuring point A to point B.
We never get a total mileage. We just get the gist of it at the top.
Yeah, somewhere like 20 to 30 miles. Dude, no way.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I've ever walked 20 miles ever. I've done like some hikes in like the mountains and stuff, and I've done like I think I've done like 10 miles in one day, but 20 is just too much. I guess it's over a couple days, but
I wish we had a step counter from walking around town back in the day. I'd love to know how many miles we were doing back then.
That's true. We did do a lot of walking when we would walk around town.
Yeah, so they're pretty gung-ho about making this trip. They start off down the tracks to the Back Harlow Road or whatever, where they think that the body's going to be. We sort of quickly find out Teddy is like living his dad's, enlisted like lifestyle.
Yeah, he wants to be just like his dad for some reason.
Yeah.
Which blows my fucking mind. Man, what happened to Teddy would be the fastest way to push me away from my dad. How he makes that work, I have no idea. But doesn't Vern also in the book? Isn't Vern the one that's always like paratroopers over the side?
No, that's Teddy.
It is Teddy. I thought when I was listening to it, I thought it said Vern.
I think it was Vern because right before the train dodge,
Vern is always like
off the train track.
The side.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
So Vern apparently has at least some pretend, army ambitions or whatever.
Yeah,
But it is. I mean, Teddy's the one who's always like, my dad stormed the beaches. But I thought Vern was the one who's paratrooping over the side all the time. Even though I think they give the line in the movie to Teddy, which makes more sense.
Yeah, I think the only time he uses the line in the movie is when they're going into the dump.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Teddy's definitely living vicariously through his dad, and you see that in the scene coming up with the train dodge.
I feel like this can't be fucking hard to do.
What,
You know what I mean?
dodge the train?
Right.
Like this shouldn't be too hard.
Well, it depends
don't
on how close
understand.
you're getting, because it says he does like truck dodges too. And with a truck dodge, I think it's probably a little more dangerous because you don't know which way the truck's going to go when you dodge it.
True.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the train's
I'm
only going to go.
left. Oh shit. Oh, didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. The train dodge wouldn't be that hard at all.
This should be like a successful 100 out of 100 attempts. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think that if you jump just late enough, there's enough wind going around the train to pull you back in?
No, I
That's
don't
a
think
factor
so.
with the jump.
I don't think so.
I guess if it were really like, maybe if it were really like real locomotive,
Full steam
Got
ahead
it,
type shit.
yeah. I kind of wondered about that too, actually.
Yeah, not to jump too far ahead, but when they're on the train bridge, me and my wife were looking it up, like how fast trains go, and if they were already on the tracks when the train started coming, I don't think there's any way they would have made it across without getting smacked.
It looked like they were gonna. I mean, we could wait, but it looked like they weren't gonna make it in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the scenes, I was like, oh,
Man, okay.
Yeah, and I think in the book, let's see who pulls him off the tracks in the movie. It's Chris in the movie.
In the movie, it's Chris.
And
in
the book,
it's
Gordy.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they kind of like sounds like they kind of throw down a little bit in the book about it.
Yeah, Teddy's pissed.
Yeah, Teddy doesn't like people telling him what to do.
His dad
Jesus,
stormed the
man.
beach in Normandy. Would
That's
you?
true.
His dad was in the military, which means he only got told what to do. And then Teddy's like, I want to join, but nobody's gonna fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah, he was a professional getting told what to do. Her.
Yeah, they kind of slug it out. In the movie, that role goes to Chris, which I don't think makes a difference either way. But being
Not a major
kind of the
change.
leader, he makes the decision to get up there, pull him off. Teddy lets him know he's not happy about it, and Chris is just like, "Hey man, you can kill yourself on the way back. We got a mission here. Let's get it.
Yeah,
bring it in."
right. Skin it.
Skin it.
Some of the decisions they make in the movie, I think, make more sense in the book. Like you said, Chris is the leader, and they always talk about how Chris is good at making peace. So that's good for him to pull him off the tracks. There's a swap in the ending that kind of makes sense. Teddy doing the paratroopers over the side makes more sense. So a lot of the swaps they did make, I feel like, actually worked out pretty well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This takes us right on up to, I guess so. The crew decides that they are going to stop up at the junkyard for water provisions and only then discover that nobody brought food, which seems like a massive oversight.
Yeah, I love this part. I love Teddy being like, or not Teddy. I love Vern being like, well, I brought the comb. How am I supposed to think of everything?
Oh, and they mention whenever he mentions the comb, they're like, yeah, good thinking, Gordy. You really thought about this. Or Vern.
He's like, I brought the comb. And he's like, you brought the comb. You don't even have hair. He's like, I brought it for you guys. Want to look good on TV.
Yeah, dude.
What did you?
Their hair would have their hair would have looked like shit in the news story if he hadn't brought the comb, you know.
That's true. It's important.
I was always very like self-conscious about my hair growing up. So if somebody in the group brought a comb, I'd have been like, best friend for sure.
Good looking out.
Somebody is really looking out.
Yeah,
this is the only thing that matters is the comb.
And it's not like he brought no money. He brought 7 cents.
That's
Brought
right.
7 cents.
He
Yeah,
brought
so they
7
pull their
cents to the
money, and they collectively come up with like $2 and 73 cents. It's kind of at first you have a hard time really understanding the time period until you get to some of these scenes that like this money thing, because I was like, well, they're bucked, and it turns out that gets them all 4 hamburgers and Cokes,
Right.
I did do
Yeah.
the math on that.
Yeah, they were pretty jazzed. He was like, 273, that's not too bad. We can make that work.
Yeah, we
It's like,
got this.
Right.
what are you talking about? You couldn't get one
Credit cards
hamburger
aren't
for
the
that now.
thing, no debit cards.
Right.
Yeah, so they make their way to Milo's junkyard, Milo being the junk man, with the junkyard dog, another Stephen King thing, loves dogs that with authority. And they talk very openly about Chopper.
Who is a town legend.
Yeah.
Much like Cujo.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me like Sandlot vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Anything go to
Definitely.
Definitely.
Take it back.
Yeah, in the book it says Chopper was, at least until Joe Camber's dog Cujo went rabid 20 years later, the most feared and least seen dog in Castle Rock. So that's where we get the mention of Cujo. And
Okay.
yeah, I love this scene. I love that Chopper's so built up in everyone's mind. They're so scared of him. You know, they say that Chopper has been trained to sick different body parts. And if you scale the fence and enter the dump, you might hear the dreaded cry, Chopper, sick balls.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
I would definitely buy that as a kid.
You would what? Sorry.
I would absolutely buy that as a kid.
Oh, that the dog. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That'd be
that
enough to
he's
keep me
this
away.
big vicious dog, and he's so specifically trained. I'd be like, yeah, I'm staying out of there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Knowing that he's got an animal to do his bidding. Yeah, for sure. This is a good scene, both in the book and movie. All the scenes where the kids stop their adventure, whether it's to like make camp or rest or whatever, we get like really good like camaraderie stuff.
Yeah.
So both versions do a good job where the kids are like chilling. Even when they enter the junkyard, like Chris and Gordy are like racing, they're having some kind of like heart to heart stuff. You do kind of like start to see like Vern and Teddy are kind of more of a pair, to Chris and Gordy's pair. So we get the crew, they're going to stop and they are going to flip to send somebody to a name that I can't pronounce, but basically like a convenience store.
Yep.
To go get this stuff. Excuse me, sorry. Gordy draws the short straw, and another scene of like them coming up with some of the most creative, names and stuff for each other. He's like, "Don't call me any of your mother's pet names."
Right.
I don't remember a lot from the book, but I know in the movie Teddy says something, and he's like, "Does the word retarded mean anything to you?"
I like the, did your mother have any kids that lived?
Yeah,
was a solid guess.
poor Vern.
Yeah.
He's like, "Huh?"
I don't shut up. I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up.
I'd throw up.
He's like, and then your mother
Goes
fucking
around the
licks it
corner
up.
and licks it up.
Yeah.
And then
He's
your
like,
mother
it
has
was
a
always good to
respectable
come
meal
up
with her husband because I like
one
you
up
guys.
at each other about your moms was the best thing you could do in that situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so funny that like they have such bad relationships with their parents, but the worst thing you could do is insult their parents.
Yeah.
Like literally their parents are like beating the fuck out of them or ignoring them or whatever, but then how dare you call my mom a whore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. They end up flipping for loser or odd one out, I guess is how they word it. Has to go get the stuff. And they get a goocher.
The dreaded
Four tail.
future.
Yep. Bad luck. Extremely bad luck. Oh, sincerely,
Sincerely, yep.
Last time
Cherry
I heard about a
O'Connell.
goocher, there was a huge car crash. The guys were flipping for beers.
It's just one more like storied tragedy, by the way, that continues to happen or that they reference at least in this movie and book. Is like there's always like something bad, even in like the good. It's like these four kids hanging out. They're doing something to help them on their trip, even though they're going to see something bad. And they still find a way to like relate to another tragedy, like kind of like semi-local tragedy, where he's like, nope, these four fucking kids died when they flipped
Flip a
tails. So
goocher, man.
we got to call it off.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't be pussy.
Yeah, I was reading some reviews, and some people were saying that they didn't like the movie because they were expecting something that was more like Goonies, like a group
could
of
see that.
kids,
Lighthearted.
right? A group of kids getting together, banding together, going on an adventure to like save something or rescue something or find something, and then instead you get this like depressing, like all these kids are getting abused, and they're not going to save anything; they're just going to see a dead kid. So it's just tragedy after tragedy. It's just kind of a downer. But then you see, the kids, like their relationships with each other and stuff. That's really like the heart of the story.
Yeah.
I mentioned it a little bit in your text when you texted me to it, so I'll circle back around to that kind of towards the end. But I could see where this was also the year after the Goonies, so I could for sure see why people thought that they were in for like another wild adventure, and it's not quite
Right.
what it was. They should have known that. Stephen King, like
Somber adventure, guys.
That's true.
yeah. So Gordy decides to go down to the Gordy draws a short straw, goes down to the convenience store, and in the book, it's a little bit more tense in the book because he gets he kind of calls out the shop owner because he's getting ripped off at the store, right?
Yeah, the shop owner puts his thumb on the scale, tries to charge him more for the beef, while trying to distract him by talking about his brother the whole time and Denny this and Denny that.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's got to be really hard being Gordy, just living in your brother's shadow all the time.
And then being told, like, you look like him. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're getting fucked on a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
But at least he's got the nuts to, like, call him out on it, at least.
That's true.
That was cool.
These kids are not scared to talk back to the adults.
Yeah.
That would continue as soon as Gordy gets back as well with Milo Foreman.
Yeah.
So Gordy picks up some provisions, takes it back to the junkyard.
Oh,
where the
sorry.
boys were on
I wanted to pause it before that. So in the book, it said they got 3 pounds of ground beef for $1.44.
Mm-hmm.
I threw that into the inflation calculator. That comes up to about $16, which goes to about $5.39, which is roughly where the price of beef is at
per pound.
So it checks out.
Yeah, it's inflation's weird.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I don't carry cash, so we'd be super fucked if this were me.
Right? Yeah.
I'd be like, I got $2.
Yeah.
I have $2 bills, which is like as much as those boys had without inflation.
Right.
We're getting McDoubles, guys.
Yeah.
I'd be
Maybe.
like, you guys
we
have
might have to share
MasterCard?
one.
Yeah, I'd have to share one, double up on it. Yeah, no shit. So Gordy walks out, cussing out the shopkeeper, which is another thing. He doesn't just stand his ground. He walks out being like, and fuck you. And he's like, don't fucking come back here.
I'm never coming back. I got friends and they're never going to come here. And
yeah. Good for Gordy, man. Standing on business.
Tell him, dude.
So
Like
he goes back to the
crash
junkyard where the boys were on a pretty tight timeline anyways. Like they were like, hey, it's 1:45 like 1 or 2 and the junkyard opens at 4. But they like end up hanging out there way longer than they should anyways. And either they underestimate the trip to the convenience store or Milo and his dog show up early. You don't really get like a hard like, oh shit, now's the time. So if I were Gordy and I'm coming back, the clock would be the one thing I'm looking at, being like, is Milo going to be there or not? Should the junkyard be open?
Yeah.
But he doesn't, and he wanders on in, and it is open, and he gets his first encounter.
Well, they mentioned that it's closed in the book because after they have the run-in with Milo, he says something about maybe he realized that the dump was closed at the time and I scaled the fence to get in, so actually I was trespassing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they knew going in that the dump opened at a certain time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew they had to be in and out.
Yeah. So did Gordy just not pay attention then, or was Milo there like early?
I guess
hit the clock early.
He's probably there to like open up.
Gordy jumped the fence on the way in.
Or open up. I don't know. I don't really know how a dump works. I've never been to a dump. I don't know if they open at a certain time and you can come dump your shit off, or do you pay to, I have no idea how it works.
I think they say it opens at 4 because Vern has a line where he's like, I don't want to be here when it opens, obviously.
Okay.
So Gordy shows up. Milo is there and the dog. And I think in the book he said he's 50 feet away from the fence. Although in the movie it's more like he's like 30 yards.
Yeah.
Because a 50-foot run would not be hard. Like,
Right.
that's not, like,
A
that
couple
should be
steps
super.
in your, yeah.
100%. Like, I was like 50 feet. What the fuck? And the movie does a way better job of setting up, like, am I going to get away or not scenario
Right.
with this dog. And he does, and it pops off.
Yeah, this was one of the most fun scenes. I love when he's running and scaling the fence, and then you see the little yappy dog. I like Teddy's response to like, "Bite my ass, Chappy." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Milo does not like that response, though.
Yeah,
So they draw out, the commotion draws out Milo, who's like, quit teasing my dog, you little fucks.
right.
And the boys, instead, they probably could have just like walked off and, you know, had a little bit like more positive experience, but instead they start like getting into him, and then he has to serve it up to the boys and being like, oh yeah, I know who you are, DeChamp. Your dad's a fucking loony.
Yeah. Really gets under Teddy's skin. The
Yeah.
fucking loony up in Toga. Or Togus.
Yeah. Yeah, Teddy. This was kind of one of the few scenes. There's like this, the leech scene, the trestle train track thing.
Right.
That, like, having not seen the movie, these were the couple scenes that like TikTok was always like showing and stuff that I was like, man, I need to watch this movie more. So this was a good excuse to do that. So this scene was pretty familiar. Plus Teddy's some of his iconic line of like, rip your head off and shit down your neck or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you text me, you said something about like the movie was good, but you were waiting for more to happen. And like those few scenes that you mentioned, like that's really the whole movie right there. There's like 4 or 5 scenes that are like super iconic, and a lot of the rest of it's just like them traveling and talking and, you know, getting on with each other.
The journey.
Oh yeah, if I'm the boys and, you know, if everything plays out even exactly how it is, right? Like our friend barely makes it over the fence and we make it, I'm probably taking the win right there and probably just running even beyond the fence.
Definitely just walking.
Like I don't want any interaction at all with Milo.
Yeah, I'm not pushing the issue.
For sure. So the fact that the boys hung around to not only like, even if I had stuck around to talk to Milo, probably would have been like, hey man, we're on our way and we're going and it won't happen again.
Yeah.
They go in a totally opposite direction where they're just like, yeah, fuck you, fat ass. And that's
you
when
only
he
outweigh him by like 500 pounds, fat ass.
Yeah. Because if I'm Milo, I probably would have came out with threats of beating their ass, but calling the parents and, that kind of thing. But yeah, as soon as those kids started like lipping off like that, I for sure would have been hitting below the belt.
Well, he picks out the weakest link like instantly. Like Teddy obviously is the easiest one to kind of pick on.
For sure.
And he's the most emotional. He's going to freak out. And they even mention, he just wants you to climb the fence so he can beat your ass and call the cops,
And I like how King mentions in the book too. He's like, and I've noticed as I've gotten older that people are really good at going back and finding that one thing that really got you and digging on it.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
And he does. Yeah. Teddy lets this eat him up. He goes fucking ape shit. And
yeah, he tells him his father's got toys in the attic. I thought that was a funny insult.
Dude, yeah, toys in the attic is a sick one.
I love all the insults in this movie, like lard bucket, tub of guts, wet end.
Wet end, yep. They say the word pussy. I don't know the final count. I didn't look it up, but I mean it's got to be close to like 50 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
if you
say
do
it
that, then you're pussy. If you don't want to get caught doing that, or you're a pussy. Guys, I didn't want to be a pussy. Yeah.
I'm not gonna hang out with those college kid pussies or whatever. I'm gonna go to shop classes with you guys. And
right. It seems like the worst thing you could be back then was a pussy.
No.
Yeah. It must have been a word that really like cut. Like I think coming away from the junkyard, Teddy drops the F word slur, which obviously I'm not going to say here.
Right.
But it rhymes with maggot.
Yeah.
So Teddy drops that. It sounds like pussy is the equivalent of that.
Right.
Like it must have been a really like a word that really like cut. And when people, yeah, right. Kind of like Marty McFly getting called chicken, where for him that was like the worst thing you could do.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We're calling chicken. So yeah, like I mean they say it a lot, and it's always an immediate like what? Nuh-uh. Like you could get anybody to do anything if you call them that.
Yeah. That's
it's
true.
If
That's a
they
good
called
comparison.
Ace Merrill that, I wonder what would have happened.
He would have fucking cut him, dude.
For sure.
He was ready to. They're ready to fuck
He didn't
people
like being
up, dude.
called an asshole.
No, he didn't like
Man, it
anyone.
would have been a whole nother.
I wanted to
Whole
go
nother
back real quick from the dump back to the convenience store. That was in the movie. That was where we got the backstory on the way that Gordy's family kind of treats him.
Right.
And they're doing the whole dinner table scene.
Uh-huh.
In the book, he's like, they wouldn't even acknowledge me. Pass me this. Pass me. Could you please somebody? To the point where he's like, could somebody pass me the goddamn spuds? And they still ignore him.
Yeah.
In the movie, they give him a more, like, the brother leads in, he's like, come on, champ. And then, like, the mom ends up passing him the potatoes. And I feel like it cheapened Gordy's suffering a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think in the movie they were as good at showing just how much the parents ignored Gordy.
And it wasn't like they made the dad really angry in the movie. And it was more so in the book, like they just didn't have it in them to give a shit about anything.
It was less anger and more like apathy.
Yeah.
Denny died and they just pretty much gave up. In the book, it talked about they really didn't even want Gordy in the first place. Like he was kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to be having kids again. Like Denny was
God's miracle.
Yeah, Denny was a miracle, and Gordy was like a
God's
burden.
accident.
Right, exactly.
Jordan was an accident. Yeah. Also, like, they're like, yeah, basically, like, Gordon wasn't planned, but also, like, doesn't sound like they were doing a lot to prevent another child. So
she was
I don't know
barren.
what.
Yeah, she was barren. The doctor told her she wasn't going to have another one.
They were just riding on that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they were taking the doctor's word for it, pretty much.
Dad was like, I'm good to just keep it going.
I think they mentioned that she got a surgery or something that made sure it didn't happen again after Gordy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is that true?
I think you're right. I think I remember hearing that. Yep.
They talk a little bit about there's something about the closet in the book too, right? With Denny's closet, or
yeah, he's worried his brother's going to pop out of his closet and say the wrong kid died.
Yeah. Which is also like a theme in Cujo and also I think some other King stuff as well.
I was about to say that's very Stephen King to like have your character worried about the former dead character that's like related to you in like a closet and like, yeah, very, very Stephen King.
Right. There was even a line about like a yellow rain jacket, and I saw people online like, is this a foreshadowing to It? And
Yeah.
But Stephen King does like to take a lot of his stuff and reuse it in other places. Let's see.
So to take us back up to after they leave the dump.
After
they're walking away, Teddy's pretty crushed.
Yeah. Teddy's crying, They ranked my old man. They ranked my old man. I like the line where they talk about Gordy's like, I don't know why Teddy cares so much about his old man when he almost killed him when I don't give a shit about my old man, and he hasn't laid a hand on me since I was 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. I think this also leads us into one of the first kind of like heart-to-hearts between Chris and Gordy, correct? Is this the scene where Gordy talks about not wanting the college thing, like not wanting to like basically like we're gonna be friends forever and I'm gonna hang out with you guys, and Chris is like, nah man, like you can't because you have a fucking brain and we're all destined for the shop classes.
We're gonna drag you down. People drag you down. Your friends drag you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that bit of writing.
Yeah, he was basically telling him like, nah, after this year we're all kind of gonna part ways, and you're gonna be making new friends in the college courses, and me, Vern, and Teddy are gonna be
pulling pud in the shop class.
Yeah, exactly.
And Gordy tries to like, nah man, like I'm gonna be there with you guys too, there's no way. And he's like, dude, I know your dad, but like you're not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hang out with those college course pussies, basically. Like back to what you were talking about the pussies.
Yeah.
How many times can we say pussy in
You're
the
being
podcast?
an asshole. This is a pussy heavy podcast.
Yeah.
I know at some point, I think it's this, Chris and him are like talking, and he mentions that in the book, he mentions that Vern and Teddy get like half a mile ahead of them And I feel like that's like huge. Like, how much ass are you dragging if your buddies are like a half mile? Like, it may not seem like a lot, but a half mile is a lot when you're talking about the distance between like your group and another group going to the same place that were once at the same starting point.
Right.
It's
Like, I
several
was
thousand
trying
feet.
to envision half a mile away from me, and I was like, God damn, if I were the people in front, I'd be like, hey, you guys fucking coming? What are you doing back there? We're trying to get there. We're trying to get there soon.
Yeah, maybe Stephen King's just not that good with distances. Same thing with like the junkyard fence and stuff. We also, I think, skip past the part where Teddy mentions like, sorry if I ruined your good time. And Vern says, I ain't sure I want it to be no good time. And like, this is like the first time where you kind of see them starting to realize what they're actually doing, going to see this body, and maybe thinking like, this isn't going to be as fun as we kind of thought it was in the beginning.
I really enjoyed that realization. It was,
I just do.
I feel like it set the scene for their age and also kind of what they're coming into and stuff.
It seemed really true to life, you know? It seemed like if my friends were like, let's go see a dead body, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go. This is going to be crazy. We're going on an adventure. And then when you get there, you go, oh yeah, this is just a dead kid.
Yeah.
This isn't a party. We're going to see a kid that's dead.
One of the parts, because the book is very like heavy and like kind of down and shit like all the time. One of the more like uplifting parts about the movie that I like is the insertion of like 50s, like pop and like rock and roll and stuff like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I think we're coming up on the trestle scene, right? The train bridge.
Yeah, that's in the movie
play,
where we get a little bit of Ace and the gang back at their hideout when they first start spreading the story around.
That's right. Yeah, Charlie's like, hey, oh yeah, because they're playing mailbox baseball. Boys are playing mailbox baseball, and Charlie and whoever Vern's Billy, is it Billy Tessio?
Billy Tessio.
Yeah, Billy.
Billy and Charlie are like weighing whether or not we should like tell the group. Turns out they had just boosted a Dodge, and I wish they hadn't, and came across the body, and so they're worried about how they're going to. Or if they should report it, or if they let Ace and them know. Is there like a reward involved, or like some credit there? And it's kind of is one of a few things that sets up like this group's a bunch of fucking assholes. It's amazing that any of these kids aren't juvie yet.
Right.
I mean, they're drinking all the time, and I know drinking laws and ages and stuff were different then. I don't think it was 21 until the 80s. But I mean, like, they are all pieces of shit.
Yeah,
well,
I wonder if it's like a true like. A semi-true hearkening of how bad kids were.
Yeah, Chris's oldest brother is in jail for rape, right?
Rape, yeah. Which I was also like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so Chris has an oldest brother who's doing time, and then his middle brother is
buddies with Ace,
and he's the youngest.
Yeah.
So man, Jesus fuck, dude.
Yeah, what's going on in this town where there's so many people that are just so bad?
It's Castle Rock, dude.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that like Gordy's dad is at least questioning like Teddy's friends.
Yeah, maybe Gordy's dad's not really as bad a guy as they make him out to be.
Yeah, maybe he is the dad I'd want, other than being, shunned and ignored upon Denny's death. But yeah, goddamn, dude.
Yeah.
So this takes us to the trestle, and in the movie they play the song "Every Day" by Buddy Holly, which is like one of my favorites.
That is good.
One of my favorite fucking songs in that movie. They played Lollipop, I think, when they were there, and you see like Teddy and Vern, doing the like, Lollipop by the Chordettes. Another song I have on my Spotify. So the movie did a good job of like, kind of like keeping it lighthearted in scenes where you just like sank.
Right. Anytime I hear that Lollipop song, I'm humming it the rest of the day.
Yeah,
I'm humming it. I'm singing it. I'm doing it all, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
Timeless classic.
That's good.
Yeah.
You always had the best one, man.
So we're here at the trestle scene. If you're the boys, are you going across?
Yeah.
Or are you hiking the 5 miles out of your way and 5 miles back? You're going across?
Yeah. If you guys want to go around, you can, and I'll meet you on the other side, and I'll be relaxing with my thoughts.
I was also jumping off cliffs and shit. So like, there's a part of my brain that's like, this is higher than anything I've ever done, but It can't be worse than that.
I don't think as a kid the reality would have set in, because we mentioned there being train tracks where we grew up. There's actually a train bridge just like this, not as long. Like it's definitely a shorter train
Maybe
bridge.
20 or 30 yards.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter, but we used to hang out on that thing all the time. We would like light fireworks and throw it off the bridge and try to get it to like blow up before it hit the water. Even those like those mortars, we would light those, and the wick goes starts, and then we'd wait for a couple seconds and then just throw that bitch, and then it would just explode like over the water.
Damn.
Yeah, so I definitely would have went across, but that bridge did look long, so
It was long.
I would have been hustling.
I think that's what I would have is where I'm at too. Is like I probably would have went across, but I would have went across initially with some hustle. I wouldn't have like lollygagged. I'd have at least had some like pep in my step.
Yeah, even the way that they're kind of like, even just carefully stepping and watching where they're stepping, I'd still be doing that pretty damn fast.
Same.
Yeah, that's kind of pussy to run though. You got to look cool and walk though.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I think Teddy in the book talks about like, well, I'll just fucking hang on the thing until it passes.
He's
they're
like,
like,
200 cars.
The 200 cars. Yeah. Okay, Teddy. Need to paratroop out of there.
right. And then you get that line from Teddy where he talks about relaxing on the other side with his thoughts. And Gordy asks him if he uses his left hand or his right hand for that. I was waiting for that in the book and it never came.
Wait, is it not?
It's not in the book, I don't think.
No.
Okay. I thought all right. Fair enough.
You could be right, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't in there.
I was at this part of the book when I was listening to it last night. So I was in bed, like my kids asleep next to me, and I got my earbuds in. So I was like trying to put the time into it, and trying not to like, get distracted doing anything. So no, you're probably right, but it is a good line. Use your left hand or right hand.
Yeah. Well, this
wish.
This is another one we were talking about how like the distances and the times and stuff were kind of weird. He said it's 5 miles down and 5 miles back, or 10 minutes if we go straight across. It didn't look like it would take 10 minutes to walk across that bridge.
I assumed he's talking about a point further, like some point beyond the bridge. Like the bridge is part of that, but I didn't take it as 10 minutes to get across this bridge.
Okay.
I think he mentions a specific point of like, I couldn't even make one up. But some point beyond that.
So like if they went down to catch the next bridge, it might have taken them to a different point ahead, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or to get to this. Yeah. If he says to get there, it would have taken 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah. I didn't assume it was the actual train tracks, but some point, some fixed point beyond that they were talking about.
Yeah. And they mentioned in the book, like it'd be easier to crawl, but you can't crawl because then you look like a pussy. I like in the movie that they had Vern crawling.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
And
right out the gate.
And literally one of my favorite parts of the whole movie is Vern's face as he reaches through the floorboards. Yeah, as the comb falls into the water, his face of just pure disappointment just cracks me up.
It's a cool undershot, like up through the train tiles or whatever.
He's just so disappointed.
Yeah,
it's like he's so proud.
Defeat.
He's so proud to remember to bring the comb, and then he loses it. Oh man!
Even that sad ass look, he turns around and he's like, "I lost the comb." He's like, "Forget it, Fern." And he's just like, "Oh shit."
I think this is my favorite scene in the movie. When he starts to hear the rumble and he puts his hands down on the track and he notices the train is coming, the look of pure terror on Gordy's face is so good. Like I feel like all the boys' performances in the whole movie was good, but this especially like really felt like they were like terrified.
Did you guys audiobook this?
I did both.
So the audiobook, I'm assuming all of them, audiobook by a guy named, I think it's like Thomas Muller or some shit like that, who's like the preferred narrator for, I guess, Stephen King and several other like prolific authors prefer this guy. He passed away in 2008, so this tells you this was recorded quite a while ago. But I had to watch the movie first to make sure that I could align like some faces and stuff. As I'm listening to the audiobook, having seen the movie, I wanted it to be the movie. And so in the movie, it's awesome when Gordy's like, "Fucking train," and like hollers at it, right? But in the book, he like kind of undersells it. obviously he's not going to scream on the microphone that he's recording into.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. He's got to tame it down.
I got a caveat. I watched the Family Guy version of this before watching, and one of the funniest bits they do is, "I'm going to warn you guys in slow motion if a train comes, okay?" Train!
That's
and
right.
they all get over.
It runs over Joe's legs, right?
Yeah. And then he goes,
right.
"Another train!" and another train hits him.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't separate that in my mind, like the another train part. Like I forget that that's not actually part of the movie. Oh man, that another train just rings in my head.
That is so
I forgot
funny.
about that. That's
that
so
is
good. I'm gonna look that up later. We'll have to clip that into this when we make a short out of it.
Yeah, I will for sure, 100%.
Oh,
I have the
man.
episode in my search. I'll hit you right to it.
Okay, man, that's good.
Yeah,
so they make it, but it's nail bitingly close.
Well,
like they have to jump off at the end now.
Right. They talk in the book how he's like, I've written several stories about people with telekinetic powers and stuff, which is like, kind of true to Stephen King, and we'll talk a little bit more about his writing and stuff coming up. But man, my computer keeps having these notifications. But he talks about how this was his first and only psychic premonition, and I wondered if that wasn't like a reference to, did this come after The Shining or before The Shining? I think this came after The Shining. The Shining was pretty early in his career.
I think so.
And there was another time.
I think even the movie of The Shining came out in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
He even uses the word shine, or something. Anytime Stephen King writes the word shining, I'm like, is that what he's talking about?
Dude, I immediately think like superpowers.
Yeah.
Or yeah, the shine.
Right.
Yeah, same.
I liked in the movie that Vern was crawling, because then you get where Gordy's like trying to like lift him up and like push him ahead. And I thought that was like really added to the tension. Like this was way more, like you said, way more tense in the movie than it was in the book. And then I heard they even like shot it with like a long lens, so it looks like the train is actually closer, because they used a real train to film this. So
I think they used like 4 short cropped haired girls, like stunt doubles on the tracks to.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that.
Like do some of those. Yeah, they had to get like 4 gals with and then like match haircuts to do some of the like stunt work and stuff. But yeah, you're right. They used like some hella long lens. The train super deep in the back. By the way, if you notice in the movie, it's like 3 cars.
Yeah.
It's the shortest train.
And it's going so slow.
Insane. Yeah. Okay. So I asked Shelby this question too. If you're and we can like relate it to Teddy earlier in the film, because he's on a pure straightaway. Do trains, if you see something in the distance that far up, do trains, and I know they don't stop on a dime, but like, are they not applying the brake when they see crazy shit like that? Are they just told like, you just full steam ahead, it doesn't matter what the fuck, you just you just blow the whistle the whole time? Like, would you not be trying as the conductor to stop if you see some shit like that? It doesn't look like there's really any effort to do that. I'm not a train guy. I've only been on 1 or 2, and I wasn't driving it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I know.
Just as a big truck guy, I know that it takes a really, really long time to stop a truck. So a train, I just couldn't, just the hundreds of thousands of pounds that thing's pulling, I couldn't imagine how many feet it would take to even start hitting the slowdown. And I'm not sure what their protocol is either, because, I mean, obviously there's videos on the internet of people and animals and stuff like that just getting smashed, and they're like, I wish you would have got out of the way.
Not that they would have made the stop in time, but like surely, like it doesn't even look like there's a lot of effort to stop. I don't know.
I know that they're not supposed to stop for like cows and like wildlife and stuff.
Damn.
But I think for people, you would like want to try, right? Because you're right. Okay, I just Googled, can trains stop?
Hell yeah.
I'll take us right to it.
Yes, trains can stop, but they require significant distance, often a mile or more for freight trains due to their immense weight, momentum, and low friction, making sudden stops impossible, though emergency brakes and signaling systems exist for controlled stops at stations or in emergencies. So I think you would try.
Yeah.
I feel like if you try to stop too quick, would it like derail the train?
Is that a thing? Can that happen like that?
I don't know.
Just from e-braking it? Because it's not like it's going to like burn like skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
if you
sure.
hit the brakes on the front of the train, then all the weight on the back is pushing against that train that's there. So then you start getting bucklings and the couplings.
Well, then they got to squeeze both handles like a bike. You know what I mean? Apply both brakes. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Front brake and brake brake.
Yeah. That
Yeah, I was
is a good
asking.
question.
I was asking my girlfriend about that, who obviously not a train master either, but threw it out to her.
Right.
She probably was just like, just shut the fuck up and watch the movie. Okay. So the boys make it out. This takes us up to our first night camping, correct?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, they camp before they go swimming, I think, right?
Yeah, okay. You
Oh,
guys were
well.
talking about this. You guys were talking about something before we started filming. I want to bring this up. I think it's pretty early in the book. We get the story within a story about like Chico something.
Stud City.
I noticed we
Dude.
skipped Stud City, and I was going to bring it up again when we got to the pie eating contest, but we can tackle it now. So a lot of this story, I think, is autobiographical to Stephen King, right? Like Gordy's a writer, Stephen King's a writer.
Yeah.
They mentioned in the movie, I think they mentioned in the book that he was 23 or 26 when his first book got published, and then it got turned into a movie, which I think is supposed to be a reference to like Carrie. I'm not 100% sure. I think when Stephen King was young, there was an incident where like a young boy got killed on a train track, and that has some influence in this. But all to say that Gordy's a writer, Stephen King's a writer. We get Stud City, which is a book that he writes after the events of The Body, but they include as like an example of his writing. What did you guys think of that?
Go ahead, man.
Stud City was weird as shit. I mean, it was like, in terms of like the brochacho, like grindhouse kind of vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
I kind of got it.
She was cherry. She
She was
bled. And like, it was like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
And I mean,
good. I didn't either.
The amount of the amount of C word usage getting tossed around, I'm not sure if that's safe on the internet.
Yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. Yeah, yeah, we all know. I'm glad you said that because so again, I'm audiobooking it, and again, I was like listening to part of it at work, and I must have started it at work, but had to just like stop, so I didn't really like catch where I was. So I get home and I'm like, I pick up where I left off, and I could not figure out what the fuck was going on. Like I was like, what the fuck is Chico? And like I was so fucking lost. Like all of a sudden it's just talking about the shit that has nothing to do with the characters I know. Obviously it's not in the movie. So I was really fucking lost, but I'm like hearing it all out and I was like, this fucking sucks. Like this story within a story bullshit. I'm like, God damn it. Can we please get back to
Yes.
Because I think
they
it's
really
like 2 or
harken to
3
like
chapters in the
a
book.
writer is writing this.
Yeah.
As the theme.
I think I understand like why it's in there. Like in the story, Chico's brother's dead, so that mirrors Gordy's brother being dead, and he's got issues with his parents. Like I see the similarities, and I see like why it was included. He even mentions in the book like that story wasn't very good, but there's parts of it I like, and I had to resist the urge to go back and make changes and publish it again. I don't think it needed it. I don't think the book needed it. We're coming up on the other story that's included that's like an example of Gordy's work, and I think it's a better example. I'm not even sure that was necessary in the story. I did like it.
I think it's a solid hook though. Like it's definitely one of the things that I remember from all the way back in time to this movie is the latter story.
Yeah. We don't have to stick too long on Stud City, but I thought it was weird that like Chico's brother was like hooking up with his stepmom, and that's why he died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like towards the very end of Stud City where he talks about his brother took one job instead of another job because if he took the other job, then he would have been home, and he can't resist the stepmom for some reason.
Oh, I thought it was just because he didn't like her.
No, I think he was fucking.
I totally misread that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I was, like I said, I was really struggling to because I missed the beginning apparently.
Just
So I
even to
was like,
figure out what was
the
happening
fuck?
in that spot.
Yeah,
I totally
just
understand that,
struggling.
man.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't include it in the movie.
Same. Very much same.
So fast forward, we are coming up on the scene where they've just done the train bridge, and they come and they decide to camp. They cook their hamburgers. They're just
Smoke their steak.
bullshitting. It's just
Smoke
like a
their
regular
camel.
like kid sleepover. I love the scene where they're going back and forth with the different questions. And
The goofy thing. Yeah.
I
that
was
was
about to ask you
hilarious.
guys. Mickey's a mouse, Donald's a duck, Pluto's a dog. What the hell's Goofy?
I didn't know that was a question being pondered back at that. I mean, I know that I don't think is that particular dialogue about Goofy's not in the book though, right?
No, it's not.
That's just
No.
okay. So that's just the movie. So we'll say
But I
the
do feel
80s.
like it was memed recently, like just that
That's
question
yeah,
in
right.
general.
Like I didn't realize that pondering of that question went that far back. Because even at the junkyard, Teddy's like, "Have you guys been watching Mickey Mouse Club lately?"
Yeah.
And I was like, and they all say yeah, by the way. And I was like, "You guys are 13. What the fuck are you watching Mickey Mouse Club?" But I guess
I think Mickey Mouse
broadcasting
Club
channels,
used to
man.
be a bigger thing.
right. And well, plus programming was crazy limited, right?
Because that's
there
like
wasn't that many-
didn't Justin Timberlake, didn't he come from Mickey Mouse Club, and maybe Britney Spears? Am I
Probably
remembering
a
that?
few of
Something
these,
with Disney.
yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, what the hell is Goofy though?
He's a cow.
It's
Is he a
my
cow?
favorite. It's my favorite. Probably one of my favorite like walk away quotes is because it's Vern pondering it, right?
Yeah.
And Vern's like, "Yeah, you're right. What the hell is Goofy?"
Well, he looks like a dog, but Pluto can't talk or like drive.
He's
so
like, "Can't be a dog. He wears clothes and drives a car."
right, that is
I'm
good.
like, "Oh, shit."
I think about
Yeah,
that
so
all the
this
time.
is-
There's
I
a
did-
few
yeah.
things from this movie that like stick with me. One of them is the when they're like walking down the tracks singing the "Have gun will travel" reads a. I sing that all the time.
Mhm.
Like I'll just be at work, just like singing that. I don't know what it's
Nice.
from. I don't know the whole thing. I know that beginning part, and it just rings in my head like an eternal
Just
echo
hum
that
out
just
the
won't
rest of
leave me
it.
alone. Yeah. What the hell's Goofy? That one. The "You Wish." When they're on the train. Like a lot of these things have just stayed with me my whole life.
Did you like the story of Lardass? Or were you a Teddy and you're like, this ending sucks?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the ending suck because that's another thing that's like
That's
that-
Stephen King.
Yeah, everyone says that Stephen King can't write an ending, and I think that was him like poking fun at that.
I think you're right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. I hadn't considered it that way. That's pretty good.
That's
But
how,
I
that's
thought
how I,
I thought the end of Lardass was good enough for me.
same.
Did you like the
Yeah,
story, Justin?
Teddy's like wanting a whole like theology about it. Like what?
Then he went home and kills his dad.
Yeah. Okay, Teddy.
What is castor oil?
Oh, I looked this up when me and my wife were watching
Like
it.
maybe I'm stupid, but I was like, what the? And I didn't Google it.
I've heard
which
of
I
it
know.
from other stories too, but more used as like a laxative.
It's a vegetable
Oh.
oil pressed from castor beans. What's it used for?
He doesn't eat the egg in the book, though, right?
No.
Right.
Okay,
Excellent
I thought that
visual
was
for
a-
the movie, though. I love the shot
Yeah.
of him going up with the sun in
Just-
the back.
Goes full Rocky raw
Yeah.
egg.
Brie was even like, "Wait, doesn't he have an egg? Doesn't he eat raw eggs to throw up?" And I was like, "Wait for it, it's coming."
Yeah.
They make the reigning champion more of a dickhead though in the movie. Like in
Oh,
the book, he's just this nice guy.
It's I'm reading here on Google. It says it's used to promote hair health, reduce inflammation, aiding digestion as a laxative. So maybe that's where that comes in. He drank a bunch of a laxative basically, and then eats the egg, and then he's
If you drink
imagining
too much, it
himself
comes out the top.
imagining himself
gross shit.
eating cow flops and
Gooberberry gushers, whatever the hell that was.
right.
Why did the crowd throw up blueberries also? Did you guys notice that? The
I
crowd is
thought the
also
same
throwing up
thing.
blueberry stuff.
I love
I
the
can't-
touch,
I was
but at
like-
the same time, it's like, wait, were you guys? Is
Maybe
this
they
the
were all
theme
eating
of
it at the
the
fair.
right?
I
Maybe
guess,
it's like
'cause
a
the-
blueberry theme event.
The Stephen King way, I like Barry Stephen King gets into the details in the book where he's like, and Mrs. Johnson threw up her, Alfredo, whatever her dinner
Yeah.
was. That's very much different from the next guy, from the next guy,
Right.
from the next guy. In the movie, blueberries, everybody.
The twins threw up on each other.
Right.
And the mayor threw
yeah.
up on his wife's tits.
Yeah, right.
Was that in the book, or was that just the movie?
I think it's in the book too.
I
Somebody does
completely
it on his
forgot
wife's
about it
tits.
when I watched the movie, and he said it. I was like,
oh my
fuck?
God. Well,
Yeah.
at even the contestants all just take it from the guy on their one side and then send it to the guy on their next too. Have you noticed that? Like instead of
Yeah.
just throwing up on your own plate or something, it's
Anywhere
just like,
else?
Yeah, none of
They
these
just
people had
train
good
it.
like puking etiquette at all.
no, dude, never.
I've seen this movie so many times, so this time I finally like paid attention to the puke effects, and they're kind of bad. Like if you really
is
focus in,
Yep.
it like
The
they do
hose
the
on
thing where it comes from the side, but it'll like completely
Yes.
miss their mouth. That kind of disappointed me a little bit.
I kind of liked it for the fact that it was Gordy telling a story, so it was like the fact that it was fake was like part of the charm for me.
Maybe. I never really noticed it before. Like I guess I watched it a lot as a kid, so I wasn't really like trying to nitpick the effects and stuff, but I really noticed it this time.
I'm sure it was just like, hey, let's get the filming done. We'll use the the takes we have type.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and how
Budgetary
many
constraint.
times are you going to clean up the set and like, okay, load up the puke again?
This is going to be a one-time thing, guys.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah,
get
they,
it
I
one.
mean, they filmed it in the summer, so like it had to suck being out there in the heat. Like,
Right.
all right, let's reset and clean up the blueberry and clean up Lord Ass's face, which is just nuked, by the way, in blueberry.
Totally. He had like crust on his forehead.
It was
I was like,
everywhere.
how'd they even get that to stick? That's impressive.
Yeah.
I like that the boys are traditional, like boys, and at least in the movie, where like each one takes a turn and like is kind of in their own head about like the spooky shit out there, like they may or may not be hearing.
When they're keeping watch.
They keep and watch. They all get a chance to like,
Yeah, they hear the crickets and they're like,
yeah. I
That's
think
pretty
Vern
good.
is like circling a tree, like going around the entire tree, like what the fuck.
yeah, I liked Teddy wanting to go see the ghost, and then you hear whatever it is make the noise again, and then he falls back down and decides not to go looking for him. Yeah, all
I
that
didn't
was
really
pretty
get the deer thing. Like when Gordy takes his turn, he's like, and I saw this like lonesome deer, and I didn't tell the boys about it because it was like just for myself.
It's like watching a sunrise, dog.
good. Yeah,
I mean, that I would have understood. I mean, he's reading a magazine or a comic book or whatever, which is fine, but has this like moment with the deer, and it's like, I don't know.
yeah.
That's probably something I would have told the boys. Been like, yeah, it was a cool deer.
I kind of read it as like, Gordy's on his own kind of adventure. Like you have the adventure of the four boys, and this is also like a coming of age story for Gordy specifically. Like he's the main character, right?
Sure.
So he wakes up early and he's having this moment by himself. And it's kind of a unique thing, the deer getting so close. And if he tells the guys, it kind of cheapens the experience a little bit. There's like a
Sure.
running theme about how like things are way more important in your head. And then like as soon as you try to say them, they kind of lose some of that impact that they had in your mind. So I think that was him just like holding on to something for himself. Maybe.
Okay.
I have wondered the same thing. That's just kind of me trying to make some kind of sense out of it.
I think you're right. Like Stephen King talked about it in the book too, where I'm very much paraphrasing, but it was like when the thing that spooks a deer is you like talking. It's not like the deer seeing you. Sometimes it's like when you go to say like, "Hey, I'm friendly," like I come in peace, and then the deer like freaks out or whatever.
Or you tell your buddy, "Hey, there's a deer."
Yeah. Okay. So the boys wake up. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's funny that Gordy. They talk about the town in Maine that he made up called Gretna, and they're like, "That's a stupid name," like. And then he goes, "Well, lots of towns have stupid names. Castle Rock, And then they name Derry and a couple other towns in Maine, but as examples of like towns that have stupid names. But those, like, I think 3 of the towns are like towns that Stephen King himself made up.
He's world building.
Right.
Castle Rock's a cool name, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that's why Rob Reiner used that for his production company, right? Was because of Stand By Me?
I would assume so. A lot of directors take something from like their film and do that. Bryan Singer with his Bad Hat. It's called Bad Hat Harry, but the picture that he uses is from The Usual Suspects when like Kevin Spacey and those guys like file in.
Right.
So it's like it's pretty common where directors will lean. Happy Madison, Adam Sandler saying that's
yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, not uncommon.
But the Castle Rock was Stephen King's thing, not Rob Reiner's thing.
Sure. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. I wonder if he had to go through Steven to use that.
Maybe. Well, he did say that when Stephen King was giving the rights up for Misery, he did it on the condition that Rob Reiner would be involved, because Misery is also about a writer and it's personal. It's somewhat autobiographical to Stephen King. So he wanted to make sure that Reiner, who made Stand By Me, that was his favorite adaptation of his other book. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure Reiner was involved in Misery, which Misery is amazing too. I kind of wish I would have picked Misery, since all the other episodes we're doing this month are like winter themed. Misery would have fit right in. It's one that I do want to cover eventually. But
okay, I like it.
Said I went the complete opposite direction. Now we're doing a summer movie.
So where do the boys go after the deer thing when they wake up? Where does this take us?
This is where we end up with the leeches.
The dreaded shortcut.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. They go through someone's field to shave off some time, which leads them to like the bog or the swamp or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
I hate getting wet. Shelby fries me for this all the time. She's like, Dad doesn't like getting wet. No, I hate getting my street clothes wet. Wet socks. And I think in the book they're naked.
I think so.
Which is not something I'm doing with my friends, like hanging out naked, swimming in this pool or whatever. But in the movie, they go in fully clothed, which is also not something I'm doing. So if this was my part of the journey, I'm taking the long way, or I'm swinging across the fucking vines.
In the movie, it was a shortcut. In the book, it was just like a beaver dam next to the train tracks.
Gotcha.
So in the movie, they were reluctant to go through, but in the book, it was just like them cooling off in the water.
I would have at least been like going army style, like holding my like gear and shit above my head. Like they're dragging their sacks and shit through it. Ugh, no thanks. Would the gun even work at that point after that?
I think so. Once it dried off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely at least going down to my skivvies and holding my pack over my head.
I forgot to pay attention for it, but apparently there's a clip in this scene where you can see Will Wheaton's hair is dry because he didn't want to get back in the water. Like he didn't want to go under the water again.
Oh, that's funny.
Because the water was so nasty. So apparently
we'll get to it later.
So apparently when they're making the movie, they didn't want the boys to go into an unfamiliar body of water that they didn't know what was in it, could have any kind of animals or bacteria or whatever. So they dug out a pool and filled it with their own water, but they did it like 2 or 3 months before they filmed. So by the time they got to film it, it was nasty. And that's why Will Wheaton didn't want to get back under. And that's why he's got the dry hair in that scene.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like dunking each other and everything. It's one thing if we got to go across this, let's get across it. But they're like having a whole hangout and stuff. And I'm like, no. I would be like, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, dirty water freaks me out.
We used to swim. We used to swim in the creek, but we would like plan ahead and like bring swim trunks and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think they said it was like the hottest day on record. I think I might have went swimming. I don't know. The leeches definitely freaked me out though.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most iconic. It might be the most iconic scene coming out. Is Will Wheaton, like checking his pumpkin patch and finding his, finding a
Leech on his ball bag.
a squatter hanging out in there.
Yeah,
God damn.
Also,
dude.
the leech turned out to be in on his penis. I did not expect that.
In the book, it's on his balls in the book.
Oh, was it?
I think he says it's on his testicles. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
Stephen
the movie
King is-
you don't see it. He just reaches in
right.
and pulls out the bloody leech.
I assumed it was on his dick. And neither of those, I don't know that one sounds better than the other.
Yeah,
but
no.
like I'm probably Will Wheaton for sure. Where like I think in the book he's even like asking Chris for help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
Chris is
"Yeah,
like,
man,
I'm sorry, dude.
I
you gotta
can't.
do
I
it."
can't.
You gotta just pull it off. Fuck, dude.
Did he faint in the book as well?
It took a little longer
Yeah, I think he does. Passes out. Yeah.
because he talks
That's
about
pretty-
he got
that's
his
pretty
clothes back
pussy of
on
him
and
to
all that
pass out.
stuff.
Yeah. What a pussy,
Yeah.
dude.
What a pussy, dude. Yeah, passes out like a nerd.
Yeah, in the movie he passes out immediately. In the book, he's like, they get their clothes back on. He's walking in. He's like, yeah, man, fuck those leeches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like going over his trauma in the movie, and then they're like bickering or something off in the background, and that's when he's like, "Shut up!" And he's like yelling at them, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And he kind of has this like, I think it's supposed to be like an angry face, but it's kind of a goofy look Will's giving the group, where he's like,
We're doing
like,
it, guys.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like the reality of this body being so close is like setting in. We're through the leeches. The rain starts to take over, I believe.
Yep.
The rain starts to take over, and the crew, the bad guys are on their way.
This is one part that I liked better in the book was the storm and everything when they're finding the body.
Yeah, because it was kind of a matter of
yeah.
time thing. I felt like
It's kind of a it doesn't happen in the movie, but it's a movie device where they're at the worst part of their journey and it starts raining. It's
Yeah.
like in movies where funerals are always like they're always raining and they're always
Right.
outside, by the way.
Right.
You
could say when it rains, it pours kind of thing.
whoa.
It probably would have just been
Did you
like
pick that up?
it probably Wow, is that your tagline? It probably would have been a lot more of a pain in the ass to film I think it hails too in the book.
Yeah, there's
so
some
probably
cool
just would've-
imagery about the hail falling into his open eyeballs or whatever.
Yeah, and the lightning and shit like that. Stephen King, ever the wordsmith, talking about that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that even in one of his stories that isn't horror, you still get some like horror imagery, like of like the kid he thought he might have died of fright, and then you get the hail in the eyeballs, you get the leeches. There's still a little bit of horror, even though there's no horror, you know.
The boys find Ray Brower, and in the book, they kind of at least handle the body a little bit, right? Because isn't he face down and they flip him over and stuff, and they're looking at him?
I think so.
Whereas in the movie, they're much more respectful. Like
They're pretty
find him
hands-off.
as he is. Yeah, it was kind of traumatizes the boys, and then enter Ace Merrill and the group at the worst timing ever.
Right. I think it was Ace and Eyeball show up first.
Yeah, because he's like, "What the fuck? My little brother's here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
And
cool
it's not
nickname
until-
too, Eyeball.
I know. I does it ever explain why he has that name,
No, but I like it.
Eyeball Chambers? I was telling. Never mind. I'll save it. We're almost there. If you're the kids, you're definitely shitting your pants at this point. Like you have found the body. Whether or not you claim it, is one thing. But then like the worst fucking people that could possibly show up. I for sure would be like, oh, fuck, this sucks. Like this just went from worse to worser.
It was that Goocher, man.
It was the Goocher. Yeah,
Goocher.
had to be.
The Goocher caused all of this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Ace shows up, and I think it's the same in the book. The two of them go down there and approach the boys. And Ace is like, "You're in the wrong place, boys. Like the body's ours." And he's like, they kind of start like, I think they kind of start like ribbing the dibs thing where they're like, "No, because Charlie and Eyeball were pussies about it," and
And we walked here. We earned it. You
Yep.
guys
Billy!
drove.
I wish we'd never boosted that Dodge.
Yeah. Yep. It was funny to hear the narrator playing that scene out.
Yeah, in the audiobook.
I did like that in the audiobook.
Yeah.
I wish we turn my underpants into a fudge factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing if you're going 4-on-2. I think Teddy makes a point like that, which I think is kind of cool. Where Teddy's like, "There's 4 of us and 2 of you, so let's fucking go." And Ace pretty much is like, "Oh," and then
Billy
Q,
comes
I think
around.
4
Vern, you
more
little
dudes show up.
Vern, you little shit! You must have been under the porch.
Well,
the
wasn't,
mayor
I swear.
Yeah, sincerely. Yeah, if I'm the boys, even just the 2 of them showing up, I'm freaking out. And then like to know that you're outmanned for sure, I'd be like, oh fuck, we're gonna get beat up.
Right.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah, you're talking about the dibs thing. Like they take dibs so seriously. Like I wanted to explain to him that like we had dibs, and it's like fuck your dibs, dude.
Do
It's
you
sacred,
guys?
dude.
So in the book, Chris Chambers finally pulls out the gun.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's Gordy. Did you agree with this change? I think I did.
I do.
I think so too.
I watched an interview of Rob Reiner talking about it, and it makes sense. Like it's Gordy's story. It's Gordy's transition into being a man kind of thing. I think it was a good change.
Would you? Even if I had pulled out the gun, I probably wouldn't have shot it off. Like I'd have just hoped my bluff was enough.
Yeah.
Because I think he fires one in the air, and then I think he fires one at the ground. Because I think he picks up 2 casings before they clear the scene.
In the book, yes.
Right.
Because
Man,
Ace kept going for it. And he was like,
He
no, I'm
did.
serious.
He keeps going for it, and then does in the movie he pull out a switchblade? In the
Yeah.
book, it's this dude with the weird fucking name. It's like one of the lesser known or lesser talked about bullies. But yeah, one of them pulls
I
out.
know
I
who you're
think
talking about. I can't think of the name.
6 inches of steel. Because switchblades it's like a Henry Bowers moment from like Derry.
Right.
Like it pulls out
Right.
the switchblade, which if I'm Teddy and Vern, I'm probably being like, hey, body's yours, man. Like, just don't gut me.
I liked when Gordy's got the gun on him, and he's like, what are you going to do, shoot all of us? And I liked his line of like, no, Ace, just you.
Yep.
Just you.
It's like, that was a pretty good
That's
move.
badass.
Like, I don't have to shoot everyone. I just got to shoot you.
Yeah.
If I'm in Ace's crew, I'm just like, well, I'll be back at the car and like you guys can figure that out. And
He
The
got
book-
me, dude.
The book handled it pretty well too, where Chris is, where do you want it, Ace, in the arm or the leg or whatever he
Yeah.
was asking him.
tell me where.
Yeah. I was watching the newest season of Stranger Things, and they got this kid in there, dipshit Derek. Who he changes, he becomes delightful Derek. But he keeps saying, suck my fat one. And I was like, where the fuck do I know that from?
Yeah.
It's Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I'm so
finished
glad we
Stranger-
covered this at the same time.
I
would have
finished
never,
Stranger
I would have
Things
never
first.
figured that out.
I finished Stranger Things first. So when I was going through this, I was like, hey, just like Derek in that fucking show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny that you knew it on the flip end and I knew it on the back end.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you can suck my fat one, Ace. Yeah, because I think in the book he's like, that's as bad as ribbon, calling people out on their parents or ranking people's parents or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Telling
he says-
him to suck.
Yeah. He also tells Ace to go fuck your mother again, right? Was that just in the book? Or was
Yeah,
that both?
yeah. I don't think he words it like that, but he's like, yeah, because when he gets in the next chapter or whatever, when they get worked over, Ace corners him and he's like, yeah, you told me this and you told me that, yeah, well, however he words it, yeah, you told me to fuck my mom, right? And then they, we're almost there, but yeah. Do you agree that the boys didn't claim the body though?
No way. No way I would have went all that way and not got some kind of recognition for it.
Same.
I feel
don't
like
think
the
I would have.
maturity of the choice is really cool for the story.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how my 12-year-old self will tussle with that.
I don't think I would have built a stretcher and carried him out of there, but I would have like hiked to Harlow or wherever the nearest town. I would go find the authorities and be like, hey, I was hiking back here and I found this body.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm putting it on a stretcher and carrying him out, but
Same.
It's a long walk.
I'm not touching the body at all.
yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Even
Yeah,
from like
nobody even brought gloves. I mean, what are they thinking?
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, so the boys win the battle and stave off Ace and his crew, who send a very stern warning of like, you got another thing coming here soon, like once
Right.
we get out of here.
Right. We're not going to forget this. This is big time. We're not going to just let this go.
Gordy stands firm and he's like, you know what? Like out of respect or out of maturity, no one's going to claim the body. They make an overnight walk back home, which had to suck.
Yeah.
That had to suck. Through the dark, you're drying off, or maybe it's raining most of that time.
They probably didn't go through the leech pond again too, so it's probably a longer walk.
For sure. It sounds like they tackled the trestle though, I think. I think they still
they did.
Went back across that. This was a choice as like a parent and wanting the best for my kid and stuff like that. I liked the ending of the movie, the more hopeful ending.
Yeah.
That the boys do not get beat up when they get back to town. Reading about it in the book, I was like, oh fuck, this sucks, man. I was just telling Justin, I can't imagine beating up my siblings the way that this happens in the book.
No way.
So Gordy gets beat up by Ace, and I don't know who I don't remember who teams up with him. He gets worked. So they basically split up in pairs. They each get like a pounding from like two different guys. And Chris gets his fucking arm broke.
Yeah.
In two places is what it's by his own brother.
Right.
Like, and I know none of them rat out the dudes who did it, but like, I probably would. Like, I would want that justice of like, no way, man. Like,
I liked in the book where he calls the neighbor and has the neighbor tell his mom to take the light bulb out of the cellar to corroborate his story of falling down the stairs.
Yeah. And the doctor's like, okay.
Yeah, go over and tell her if she doesn't want her son to go to jail, she needs to take the light bulb out right now. I thought that was good. I would have never done that. I would have like totally let him join our other brother in jail.
Yeah. I feel like I can read about people like, so for instance, I feel like I can read about all the like brutality and like pure kill. But it's when people get like really like beat up in weird scenarios like that I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. I can't imagine doing that to somebody or having it done to me.
It feels more real.
It does. Yeah.
It feels more real than like when someone gets killed.
It's just another point where like you want these boys to like get their justice and it doesn't happen. And it's just one more bleak part of the book. So I think I agree with Rob Reiner's like more hopeful ending and like to exclude that.
Well, Vern gets knocked out and his brother like pulls back because he thought he killed him.
That's crazy, man. Like like Jesus fucking Christ, dude. No way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I picked on my little brother for sure, but I certainly didn't lay hands on him and break any fuck like that, whether he narked on me or not, my parents would have probably beat my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just no way, dude. I mean, we've all got brothers, so.
It was Ace and Fuzzy Brackowitz that jumped Gordy.
I can't imagine beating somebody up that young in the beginning anyways, whether I'm related to him or not. Like.
Yeah, you're like 17 years old and you're going to go punch on some 12-year-old dorks.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
And this is the part where the doctor called Constable Bannerman, and that's a callback to the cop from like Cujo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordy talks about how they hit him like full-fledged in the face. He's got a fat eye for a few days. He said he took 4 days to be able to see out of it.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, dude, what the fuck? Chris gets a broken fucking arm in two places. Like, good God, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, there was like a bully in my neighborhood once that like grabbed my leg and kind of like twisted it, and I was kind of like flopping around, and my buddy's like older sister came up and started like screaming at him, and he finally let me go. But it was like I couldn't imagine he fucking breaking my arm or like beating the fuck out of me like that.
Same, dude. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
even
pretty
a
brutal.
fighter. I haven't been in a fight since I was like 17. It's just not something I'm about anymore.
I've
you
never
know,
really been in a real fight, I don't think.
not anymore. If I can't talk my way out of it, then it better be a quick fight. Because I'm not about that life.
Right.
I don't have it in me. I'd be gassed. I'd have to knock this dude out in one punch and just hope for the best. Like,
Yeah.
no way, man. Did you? So, the book goes on to explain most of our characters' tragic fates.
Yep. 3 out
the
of the 4
bookends, they go their
boys.
separate ways. All the
Vern.
boys who toss the coins. Gordy
Oh,
LaChain's
right.
the only one who still lives.
Right. After they redid the coin flip, all the Goochers got killed. Vern dies in an apartment fire. Teddy, a drinking and driving accident. And then Chris stabbed in a chicken joint trying to make peace.
That's
Which is the most tragic.
Yeah. Because he.
I mean, I
so,
know obviously the other guys, obviously they're not living their favorite life, but man, Chris just getting stabbed trying to make peace at a restaurant. It's like, it just wraps the whole story up. Like, man, this kid was just fucked from the jump.
Yeah, they go on to say that Gordy kind of does not fall out, but stop hanging around. Vern and Teddy, they kind of go their separate ways. Him and Chris kind of stick together, and he helps Chris stick it out in the college courses. Chris ends up going to become a lawyer.
good for him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good for him until he.
Right.
For
breaks
a couple years.
breaks the preconceived like mold,
Right,
of
yeah.
the Chambers family.
Right.
He made it out.
Made it out, and then gets super fucked. Yeah, Teddy and Vern, it sounds like, end up in a predictable, adult life or whatever until their end.
When I talked to Chris about this, he said one of his things that he liked more about the book was that you get the deaths of the other 2 boys. I really didn't think it was that necessary in the movie. I felt like Chris dying was enough of an inciting incident for Gordy to write the story that we end up getting through the movie,
Same.
Yeah. I feel like Vern and Teddy's send-offs are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think it helped or hindered at all.
Yeah, I think
They could have included it.
Forklift operator at the lumber yard, and he's got 4
Right.
kids. Teddy's what did he go on to do? Tried to get in the army a whole bunch of times, and just does odd jobs around Castle Rock now.
Yeah, they said he ended up hanging around all the same places that like Ace and them did.
Yeah.
I think kind of showcasing like, Teddy ended up becoming what like they thought Chris Chambers was going to be. Sounds like.
Right.
We are played out in the credit. Oh, I'm sorry. We did. So we do end up getting to see Gordy as an adult, in his natural habitat of home. Got some kids. He's got a wife, and he's like doing the writer thing where he's just like, yeah, I'll be right there, and he's finishing up the book, and his kids are like, said that 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, he always gets like this when he's writing.
Older him, played by Richard Dreyfuss. From a shitload of things, man.
Yeah.
You take your pick. I think he had worked with Rob Reiner before, and so it was kind of like a favor for Rob.
I think he was like a high school friend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I
So
read that
him
today.
and Rob knew each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
favor for Rob Reiner. It was weird seeing. I'm used to seeing Richard Dreyfuss with some sort of facial hair or something. If you do Jaws, he's in that.
Yeah, he was a little hard to recognize.
Yeah, it took me a second where I was like, I think that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're played out to the title.
Right. The
Stand
title
by
song.
Me by Ben E. King. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Real beautiful piece, man.
Yeah. Great song. So winding down here, let's do the ratings of the movies, and then we'll talk about what we liked better, the book or the movie. Nick, you want to go first? What do you rate this thing?
So I explained to you that through, when you texted me, I did think initially you referenced the Goonies thing. I kind of had a little bit of that where I did think I knew the basic like beat of the film. That turned out to just be the whole film. I did think there was going to be like more to do or more to explore there, and there doesn't. And that's fine. I think it's just an expectation that I had built up on my own. but I don't think it's bad. So I do like this film. Nominated for 1 Oscar. I think it was nominated for 2 Golden Globes. Rob Reiner, I think, calls it, if not his best film, one of his best. Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 3.5. I know I'm not the like intended demographic. I think even though it's an R-rated film, but it's about kids. I wish I had seen this when you had, and I got to grow up with it. And I think
Right.
it would elevate it a little bit. We're gonna give it 3.5.
Justin?
Yeah, just that indication of having it being a staple of in my life and coming up and watching it at different parts and t- gleaning different things from it. It's pretty much a perfect movie for me. I'd have to say 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5
Okay.
stars.
Good deal.
You're going 5?
I think I'm going to go 5.
Yeah. I don't know if it's, like you said, like growing up with this movie, if it's the nostalgia I feel for it. It's in my top 4 on Letterboxd. I think it's easily
saw
a 5
that.
out of 5 for me. Yeah. Like I don't know if it deserves it or not, but to me, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
If you
guys are
had to,
You're making a case for me to change it to a 4, though.
yeah, there's just something about it, man. Like,
It really harkens me back, and especially like being able to talk about it with you and like even everybody I've talked to at work about it or just people in passing. It seems to kind of brighten people up. They're like, oh yeah, I remember that movie.
yeah, there's that line about like, I never had any friends like I did when I was 12. God, does anybody, and like, obviously, Justin, you and I are still friends. Nick, I've known you my entire life, but
Yeah.
there's just something that I really relate with this movie. Like all those times as a kid, hanging out at the creek, going on the train tracks with you, Justin. And it's just like, I pulled up, I'd watched part of the movie last night and then I watched the rest of it again today. And as soon as I pulled it up on Netflix and I saw the 4 boys standing together, I just like feel good inside. It's like, yeah, I'm home. This is
I
like,
agree with that.
this is a
agree with
movie
that.
that's like, you said it's not your demographic. Like, this is a movie for me,
Mhm.
If you had to pick between the book or the movie being better, which would you pick?
Movie.
You think movie?
I think the book is fine, but yeah, I think the movie. It's exactly what you said, man. Like the things it cut and the things that it included or did differently. We can make like the elitists will make the gripe of like not like the book.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
those changes are fine. I think the book is good. I think the movie is better.
Yeah, I'm going to absolutely echo Nick on that sentiment because I feel like the movie is what made it iconic, whereas maybe it would have just been another one of Stephen King's kind of better books.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. I've been going back and forth on this all week trying to think of which is better. And I think it's about as close to a tie as you can get. Because I really do enjoy the book. I think the book is great, but it's not even one of like King's standout books. He has so many more famous books. Like I don't think everybody knows that this is a Stephen King book.
Right.
Rob Reiner showed Stephen King this movie, and Stephen King came away and said, I wish I would have thought of that about the ending with Gordy. And
That's funny.
yeah, like we were talking earlier, I think the cuts that were made were fine, and like the stuff with Ace that they added was great, and like everything that was added was great. Everything that was taken away was inconsequential, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go movie on this one.
Nice.
I'm kind of surprised we're 3 movies in and I've picked the movie twice. I thought it was going to be super rare where I almost never picked a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's maybe because we're picking movies that are pretty famous and pretty well liked. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times I'll watch a movie and be like, that was okay, and then find out it's based on a book, and then you go read the book and go, oh wow, the book was amazing.
Yeah.
But with these, like American Psycho, super well known. Cujo actually is one of like Stephen King's better books in my opinion, so that's why I picked the book on that one. But this one, it's like,
Damn.
If you tell people this is based on a book, a lot of people don't even know it.
I think you're right. I mean, it's anchored by a lot of good things, man. Like good director, even if even if that's where he was at in his career. He's not, whatever, 30 years later,
Right.
40 years now, it's 26 or whatever. But yeah, 30 years later, 40 years later, whatever. The kids did awesome. It's got an awesome soundtrack. Yeah, like this is the whole recipe of what you want in your book to screen adaptation.
Right. All right. If you guys like what we're doing, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music. We're on TikTok now, Instagram. Come check us out. Say hi.
Think outside of the box office.
Yeah.